Okay, I think that's working. I think that is going. I think that's, yep, that seems to be coming through and all that kind of stuff. So my plan for this little session probably won't be very long, but there's a thing I've been wanting to add to Tinboard, which is my terminal-based client for Tinboard, which is a bookmarking service. And that's working really well. I've been using it an awful lot. It's pretty much a daily driver tool that I use. I've spoken and written about how I use it before quite a few times. And I'm at a point now where it feels like it's worth adding some extra little tools and things like that. So one of them that I was thinking about the other day, and I actually raised an issue for it, was the idea of obviously as you collect bookmarks over time, some of them disappear, like useful blog posts and stuff like that, and then maybe the person stops maintaining their blog and actually the blog goes down because it was self-hosted in some way, or something like that. And you may still want that information. So what I was thinking was it could be useful to shortcut a thing that you would do anyway, or you may do, which is to then go to Wayback, the Internet Archive, and slap that URL in. So why not add a feature that at the press of a button will tell you if that URL is in the archive at all, and then if it is, press a button and visit it and stuff like that. There's a couple of other things I'm not going to do right now in this session, but there's a couple of other things I wanted to want to add along those lines. Like I feel like it would be useful to have a tool that you could ask it to go through, say, take a slow walk in the background through all of the URLs, all of the bookmarks, and see if they're still there or not, see if they 404, whatever, because that could be useful for going through and tidying out stuff that just doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe, if there was a way of filtering, it'd be a slow filter, obviously, but a way of filtering, because then maybe an extension of what I'm about to do would be to go through those bookmarks, see if they 404, and then if they do 404, maybe go and see if there is an archive of them in the Internet Archive. And then if there is, swap the URL in the bookmark and maybe put a little tag in there or something like that to say, we've swapped for a bookmark version. So that's my thinking anyway. I don't know how much of this I'm going to get done in this session, but that's where I'm going to go with it. Before I do crack on with that, the last 2 or 3 sessions I've been playing with PI Spy, or PySpy, I suppose. I never really thought about how to pronounce the name of this. And one of the things I wanted to do was actually improve the user interface. And I have actually done that. I didn't get around to that bit while streaming. I was tinkering with some things like the last 2 or 3 mornings or whatever, and nobody needs to see me on the stream first thing in the morning, so I didn't stream those sessions. But what I have done is, just before I get into what I want to play with, so this is kind of my current working idea, is now the main information is in a tab, and there's all the project URLs and stuff like that, and the dependencies and stuff like that can be linked to and everything. The description then goes in its own tab, and then each of the sort of downloadable assets get their own tab as well. I feel like this is a lot tidier. I feel like this is more the way to go. Just to remind, this is what it looked like before. So it was just like one honking great big list of stuff, which was fine when I first developed this. It sort of made sense for what I was trying to do, but it's not so tidy now. One of the other changes that I've made with this as well is you can now pass the details. It still needs a little bit of tidying up, but you can pass the name of the package you want to look up on the command line, and it uses Textual's new inline facility to kind of do the same thing, but it just sort of shows it in a little inline window here. And then when you close out again, you're back to where you were. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. We'll see. I kind of like it, so I may stick with that. Anyway, what I'm thinking is we'll make a new branch is the word I was looking for. Make a new branch. So, first things first, I am very aware of the fact that whenever I'm thinking and talking, I say first things first, and normally it's like the fifth or sixth thing at that point. Seem to remember there is so there's this little API where you can basically call on, that's really small, isn't it? That's probably a bit better. Oh wow, it actually looks really big up there. Took me by surprise for some reason. So yeah, there is this URL where basically you can pull back some JSON and it tells you if there's like it tells you the closest archive snapshot. I seem to remember, you can do things where you can give it, you can give it a timestamp to say what you're after, and it'll give you the nearest snapshot to that timestamp. So that means you could go, what's the nearest snapshot to how this URL looked 6 years ago, that kind of thing. Not really interested in doing that at the moment. Literally only interested in, is there anything there at all? And then I could put this into dialogue and say, yes, there is something available, and this is how old it is, that kind of thing. So that's my thinking. So I guess the first thing I need to do is we'll make a So I've got a directory for the Tinboard API. I think I will just... There we go. Let's do that. What's the actual... Wayback Machine. So, what do I call? Yeah, they call it in there as well. API. So this isn't going to be a terribly tricky thing to do. Just going to open up the Tinboard API source just to remind myself. It's been a moment since I wrote something with HTTPX. So it's going to be async. What should I call it? I think I'll just call it that, actually. Whoops. I'll think about that in a second. Oh, I just noticed the status comes back as a string for some interesting reason. Interesting. So, shall I return... We'll go with something like this. Now, technically, there could be other things in here, and I think at the moment, sure, I was reading about this morning. The intention is that there would be something more than closest, but like this is all there ever is. And that's all I'm interested in anyway. So I'm actually going to... No. Could get around to parsing that, make it more useful, but for the moment I'll just keep that as a string. And then just the status. Oh, status. Go with that. Spell. Right, so kind of something like that. So that's going to return an availability. If the URL is not available, then that's going to be empty. So I suppose the question then becomes, should I make it like that? Just make it availability or none. I think so. I think so. So that's the general idea. That's the general idea. It's going to be, the URL's really straightforward, isn't it? Let's just copy that. Pretty much going to be that. Do excuse me a second. Right. Just kind of cribbing from over there. Oops. Oh. Spelling everything wrong. Actually, I'm just going to borrow all this. I do like to supply an agent, and I think I'm actually going to borrow the agent from there. I remember having this discussion with someone quite recently. Actually, it was when I was working on Frogmouth, and I was giving that an actual agent. And the suggestion was, oh no, you should just pretend to be Chrome or Firefox or something like that. And it's like, do you know, it's that kind of thinking's made the internet shitty. I feel that, like I have here, to start off with, if you're writing tool, you should actually say what the agent is. You should say who you are. You should declare that. If the service you're working with then decides it doesn't want you talking to it, you can either take that as a very strong hint and never do it, or then you can do the thing of, well, okay, fine, I'll pretend to be Chrome. But there's no good reason why a particular service should block a particular client unless that particular client is doing something really nefarious. And that's not what I'm writing here. So I try and be honest up front, is the general plan. I was going to do something. There we go. Pull that in. Then I think I can do that. Don't need that, because that is literally going to be, what do they call it? Oh, for goodness sake. There are no parameters. I will worry about just trying to think if I should. Yeah, I should have a custom error for this, I think. A bit long. Don't like long doc strings. Oops. Come back to that. Yeah, that works. That works. Okay, so we'll raise a right, but what I'm not doing is just returning text. That's not what I'm doing. So I'm going to raise that, I'm going to raise that, and then yeah, I am just doing a loads on that, aren't I? So we'll go. Hopefully that, yes it did. And it's going to be if then we'll return. I'm not going to return available because we know it's available. Oh, could available ever come back as false? That'd be an interesting one. That'll be an interesting one. I suppose for the sake of completeness. No. Yes. No. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. I'm going to follow that pattern. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, we're always going to spin one up. We're always going to spin one up. So, in that case, okay. It is available. That's the URL. Why is this complete? Well, archive, not way back. That's going to be timestamp equal, oops. From that. And status. And I named those wrong. Getting there. Otherwise, it's just basically that. that's roughly it. Right, we'll do a quick and dirty check on this, I guess. Hey! Oh, no. Apparently it didn't work. Dang. I thought it'd work then. Let's see what we got wrong. Oh, it worked. Although that's not the same. Ha! The structure isn't the same as it claims. The structure is actually different. So this documentation is actually wrong. Or I've got something wrong. Way back, available, URL equals. Like how it says it might return. Might is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Because actually it turns out it won't. So it gives you the URL. Hang on. Oh no, archive snapshots. Oh no, archive snapshots is there. What have I got wrong then? I was thrown by that. I was thrown by that. I know what I've got wrong. I know what I've got wrong. I know. So archive snapshots. Hang on, where did I get available from? I just well, seems like I hallucinated that. So if archive snapshots is in there, and also needs to be okay. That's it, right? Hey, okay, that's more like it. Now, good. I came back as false because there are none. Okay. That works for me. Let's just glance over the code, see if anything needs tidying up, because I think that's about right. Oh, I should get rid of the print. Yeah, as a rough first draft, that looks okay. I don't like the way this import's going to work now. Oh, I know. It's just the import, because I'm going to put it in the init. The import will be from way back, import way back. And that's just like, yeah, I don't like that. So I'm going to have it so it's from import, sorry, from way back import availability. I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to call it that. I prefer that. And then I'm going to go from API import. Also expose that as well. Okay, we're cool. Everything is cool. Bit of black format in there. Okay, fly little commit fly up on Forge. Right. So, having done that, the thing to do is to, in the main screen or in the bookmarks? I think in the bookmarks. Ah, type words. I think I might actually put some health there. We'll see. Also, oh yeah, I need to add a command for it. I won't have one for it for the moment. I add it at the bottom. Where are all my other actions? Yeah, I'll add it up here. Okay. So I want to it's going to need to be async. So it should just be oh, I have that exception in there, don't I? In case shit hits the fan. Which I didn't. Make it easily accessible. Let's do that. Oops. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Didn't do that. Right, so that'll be there if I need it. I should probably import it because I will be needing it. So in that case, might actually want to do this in an async worker, actually, maybe, but I'll go with this for the moment. I need to get the href for the current bookmark as well and stuff like that, don't I? Yeah. It's basically going to be that there. So, we get the bookmark, if there is one, but then rather than opening the URL, we're doing this. I'll come back and put a proper error in there in a minute. So that's roughly it. I think we can call that a minimal viable product. Okay, so are you in the way back? Yes, you are. Hey, cool. So let's go. Keep it public for now. Right. Are you in the way back machine? Ah, it thinks that one. Oh, of course. Dull. That's what I meant. Yay. Boo. Okay. Something's going wrong here. Some fairly sharp. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. No, that one. It genuinely isn't. It seems. I can test that in a minute. Okay. Definitely in the Wayback Machine. Yeah. Okay. And that one genuinely isn't. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Just wondering. expect there's no reason. No, I want to do it like that, don't I? Yeah, there's no reason why action can't be work. I haven't thought about it. So that should just, even though I'm using an async HTTPS client, whatever, it's still nice to do it in a worker. So it kind of gets the work out of the main flow of the application kind of thing. Because it, technically it would let me... Oh, I suppose the thing is I'm aiming to actually do this as a modal dialogue. So because what I was thinking was you could stack a bunch up. You can see them all coming in as the work finishes. Whereas if I do that without the work, it's a lot more stuttery. They're essentially working one after the other rather than stacking up in parallel. But I kinda want it to end up being a sort of modal dialogue. That's my plan anyway. The idea is the dialogue would come up, it would show you, I suppose actually maybe what I should do is it should launch the dialogue and then the dialogue should do the work. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? That would make more sense. But that's not bad. That's not bad. Just do that. Go with that for now. I'll do the job. So, just as a first approach to this, I'm going to go make that like a warning severity. It's not there as actually a warning, but it's going to catch your eye. You've checked, and it's there. Oh, I'm just deciding actually. Should I do it as a dialogue, or should I just do it as a check thing, or like lowercase w? does the check. Uppercase W just takes you to what the URL would be. Tempting. Let's see how I feel about this. Do the thing again. Show it. So it is available, and I'm not going to give it a severity. And what I also wanted to do was, I'll probably actually improve on this, but it's going to be do excuse me. I am brew. Right, it's not available. That's not available. But that is. The URL is available in on the Wayback Machine. Well done, Dave. Well done. So yeah, I'm thinking I might turn that into an actual dialogue. Yeah. I like that as an idea. I like that as an idea. I do feel that, let me fix that. The URL is available in, is not available in, there we go. I'll make the positive version stick around a wee bit longer. Yeah, that makes sense. Apparently I don't know how to spell available. Okay. I think I might. Yeah, that feels a bit snappier doing it like that. Yeah, this is looking good. I think I will. Yeah, let's just reformat that. Just trying to think. Do I want to do it as a separate screen so it'll pop up as a modal dialog? I kind of feel like that does make more sense. I do feel like that makes more sense. Actually, I was saying earlier about, I might want to turn it into a command palette command, but actually, I don't know if I do. So I think the code here should sort of stay as it is. So maybe rather than do the check, just trying to think. No, I think it makes sense to do this in a separate screen. The problem I'm thinking through here is if I load up the data from the Wayback Machine async, and especially in a worker, and then want to throw it in a modal dialog, you're kind of going to have this weird user interface thing where you'd have these modal dialogues stacking up, or maybe, but like they'd be competing too. And I don't think that makes a whole heap of sense. It wouldn't make sense to do that. So think oops. Modal screen. Okay. So we're going to kick off looking for the URL. I think that's the plan. So I'll add this screen here. Do I want to call it way back? No, I don't want to. Let's just there we go. That makes more sense. Oops. And then what I want is So we go back to my bookmarks. Just gonna snuff that, not that it's any good. Throw that in there for a second, just as a reminder. I may end up bumping this up to the main screen rather than doing it within the bookmarks widget. Kind of overloading the bookmarks widget here, actually, I feel. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing a bit too much work down here. What happens? Oh, I literally ask it for the current bookmark and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's a tidy way of doing things. That name's a bit unwieldy. So I'm just going to go with that. I'll just do okay, we're all good there. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore either. Cool. Then in the main screen, going to check there. Also, when it comes to screens, must be importing some other screens here, surely. Oh, right, yeah, I'm in screens. So there's where all the commands come in. do on check Wayback Machine. That's more like it. I'm just going to copy that whole cell and then butcher it. So if there is no bookmark, we'll ring the bell and go new. And then it's literally if there is one. Right, I can lose that. What? Modal? I was going to type modal screen for no good reason whatsoever. So, should come down to that. Cool. I like that. So then we come back here and it's going to be I have spelled availability right, haven't I? Oops. It's apparently one of those words that I'm kind of blind to. Oh, I just thought. Yeah, don't need that anymore. Just don't need that anymore. So this is where this comes in, ish. So we're going to be else can type. Can do that as work. We're going to say what we're going to say. What we're going to say. I'm going to check if the URL is available. And then we'll do some stuff. Otherwise, we'll do some other stuff. Otherwise, we'll do some third stuff. Do it more like that, actually. No point in having the accept, the try accept around all this bunch of stuff that isn't really related. I need to pull in the error. There comes the error. Okay, Okay, we're getting somewhere. Then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to say oops. That is just so, like, seriously, I can't type that word for some reason. Oh, should be oh, for God's sake, trigger. Should have been that. Getting a bit fatigued now, I can tell. I've been out for a 5k run today. Been doing a bunch of other stuff, admin type things and everything, and yeah, starting to flag a little bit now. So yeah, my thinking here is in fact going to be a bit sneaky. And so it can be a string as well. Oh, actually, no. That's what it's going to be. Yeah. Should make it private. So then when it changes, that's when I'll do something with the display. So I need to think about what the display looks like. I want a button and at least a label. That kind of, it's obviously going to be a lot more sophisticated than this, but So we will say first things first, I don't want it to kick off on initialization. And then I'm just going to go for a moment. Just something like that. See if it even does anything. Crashes. Of course it crashes. You saw nothing. Yay! Okay, that works. That essentially works. Right, so should make it look pretty-ish. What other dialogue have I got that I can basically steal from? I actually want something that's more like, in fact this is almost literally what I want, isn't it? Oh, I should do that, shouldn't I? Just call it that for a moment. Go with that. I just thought what I'm actually going to do is can go with that for the moment. So the whole thing should just be, you know, busy, busy, busy. Might need a bit of extra work there. We'll see. I also want a horizontal. Do I want a horizontal? For the button, maybe. We'll see. No, I don't think we do actually. So let's have a look. I want to say so I want the dialogue to be sort of centered in the middle. Or yeah, I'm telling the screen to center its contents in the center in the middle. And then the actual dialogue itself is going to be vertical directly under it. So I'm going to say height is auto, width is auto, I want border to be panel, don't want it to be error. What else have I got? Make that confirm. That's a good border. I got an error all the way for some reason. Let's try it. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Right, I'm going to go with that for a second. And also then, yeah, the label that's within will be as wide as possible. Actually, I don't want that width 1FR, do I? I want the height auto. This is where it may get interesting. Just going to make sure it's height auto. Kinda worked. Actually, it has more or less worked. I realise I do want a horizontal here. Actually, what I want is a do that for a second. Right, so that's centre the button. That's definitely what I want. Don't like the border being red though. Don't like the border being red. What did I make the... I may make the border red yet, but like only if there's an error. Use whatever I've used for the primary. And border title color is accent. That will work. Excuse me. And then I'm going to say then we'll kind of change the border color if it's not available, for example. So now here we're going to say if his instance wayback data wayback error, I should set a error background as well, shouldn't I? Ooh. Interesting spelling. It's kind of something like that. So we'll just say need to find a good way of finding out what kind of errors can go on there. Probably just tweak the URL for the API, something like that, and see if it see if it throws an error. And then what I'm going to do is Just something like that. Actually, I'm going to give that an ID. So I don't run into a problem in case there's a vertical in something I use eventually. Right. So if there's an error, we just basically set the error and GTFO. Otherwise, I should just do if it's not really going to happen, but we'll do that. So at this point we know it's actually some data. So then we'll go if it's available. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing anything that clever with it. What did I say it was called? Not available. Just going to do a quick and dirty. It's definitely a width issue here. Definitely a width. This is going to be one of those problems. This is kind of a problem with textual in terms of making stuff elastic all the way, kind of thing. That does make things, yeah, it is kind of tricky. I think it is just a case of I want to say a couple of things. Loading, it's not self-loading, it's not the screen is loading, it's going to be that. That's good. And then I want, what was the other thing I wanted to do? Ah, yes. I wanted to say that I think that should work. The idea being that the label is width auto, but I want the center that contains the button to be but as wide as its container. This was a thing that broke in textual recently and then got fixed again. Hey, that's more like it. Yeah, I should make the button work. There needs to be a little bit of tidying up, a little bit of space added around things, but that's roughly what I'm looking for. Oh, I know what. Hang on, I just want to check something. didn't change the border because I was setting the class on the wrong thing. But we can be clever here. Actually, yeah, let me edit this in a better place. What I want to do is I want to say when you're in the screen, so I want to say that vertical, but when we're in the screen and it's not available, that's what I want. Oop. And then I basically want to be that. That's about right. Hey! God, it's a bit in your face. I haven't made the button do anything yet. And that works too. Right. So the idea here being, in my head as I was writing the code, I thought I was setting the class on the vertical, but I wasn't. I was setting the class on the screen. So I'm just basically saying when, rather than doing the sort of slightly more involved query, it's just a case of when the not available class is on the screen, apply that border to the vertical that's directly below it. Same with error. That simplifies life and makes things quite a bit easier. I'm also tempted to set it loading on the way in. I know I set it here as well, which actually I don't need to. So let's do that. Because there was a brief little flash when it came up when it wasn't loading. So I'm going to try doing it as it starts up. It does raise the question of should I have a cancel button or something like that, but I'll come back to that. Quite frankly, if it's taking that long, just Control-C out and just bring the app up again. Not really. Okay, right, we want to... What's a good thing to steal a thing off? Help. That's what I want. Hopefully now. Is it on the Wayback Machine? Oh no, it's oh no, it just took a wee while to load. That definitely needs some work, but it's not available. So let's check this one. That one is awesome. Yeah, okay. That's roughly working. That is roughly working. So give a little bit more information. As I say, one thing I probably will do is come back in and, yeah, that's not right now, but I'll do a little bit of code that sort of just parses that, turns it into an actual date time, so you can say it was last archived, human eyes so far, so long ago, or show the time and say, and that is 15 days, 14 hours, 27 minutes ago, that kind of thing. That might be quite nice. So what kind of padding and things should I go with? I think I'll borrow that for the label. Start off with that. Probably could do with padding at the top as well. Top. Right. Not on the bottom. Yes, on the left. It's got margin at the bottom. Looks okay. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. I think it makes more sense this way. Thinking I might set a min width. Do I want to set a min width? I could just set a min width while it's loading and then it kind of snaps into place, couldn't I? Because it's a bit too there, Oh, isn't there a loading? Is there a class for when you're loading? Can't remember. Could check the docs, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Couldn't I? I could. I definitely could. If there is, it doesn't scream about it. Could be a pseudo class. Is there a loading pseudo class? Blur, dark, disable, enable, inline, no. Sadly not. Last resort. Not seeing anything. I seem to remember actually suggesting it to Will, and he thought it was a reasonable idea to have something where you could react in CSS to being in a state where you're loading or not, but it doesn't look like it's ever made it in. So we can work around that. So what did I want to do? I wanted to say if I'm loading, so I'm actually going to go. And on the way out. nuke the loading class on the screen. And then I'm going to say when we're loading, say just to check if that's even working. It isn't working. Oh, dull. Meant that. Yeah, something like that. So it's got some dimension, and then it snaps into place. Yeah. Although I think this one through. Loading indicator is 1 high. Let's go 5 either side, so 11, 12. Let's make it like 15. That seems reasonable. Yeah, that feels reasonable. I kind of like that. I'm almost tempted to actually make that dialogue green if it's found. But only if it's found. I might come back and do that another time. So that's the core of what I wanted to get going. That's actually kind of working. Yeah, so that's not in the Wayback Machine. That is. So, as I say, something I want to add a little bit later is parse it out, so it's actually something a bit more meaningful, a bit more readable, a bit more useful, and also probably add a visit button as well, because there's it's a bit silly to not actually allow you to then go to the Wayback Machine and look at the old entry, especially if, because actually yeah, that's what I want to do, isn't it? Is if there is an entry in the Wayback Machine, you want to go and see it, because it could be that the URL of the bookmark you're looking at doesn't exist. You're checking if it's in the Wayback Machine, and it is. So then you want to go visit the view that the Wayback Machine has. So that's definitely something I'll add. I think I may need to leave that for another little session. This has gone. It's been good. It's been quite experimental. I've gone through a couple of iterations of how I'm approaching this. And I think tidying this up and finishing this off will make another nice little session. So let's save this off. Oh, it's interesting. I've decided to do it that way. Where's it done that? There. Go with that then. So that's the actual issue I want to reference. .43. Cool. Push that up. That is now saved. I think I will start a pull request for this so I don't forget. Excuse me. Definitely an enhancement, but it's just a draft because I haven't finished yet. Excellent. I'm happy with the way that's coming together. Definitely happy with the way that's coming together. I think initially I thought it was going to be a dozen lines of code or something like that, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm thinking that it makes sense to make it a more rounded feature. Definitely make it a more rounded feature. Right, close that. Okay. Well, that was a good little session. It's a new feature coming into Tinboard. I'll probably, depending on how tomorrow goes, I may finish this off tomorrow. I think because like with PySpy, I still haven't decided how I'm actually pronouncing that. I know I was doing a few things with that, and then the sort of final work I've done on that, I've ended up doing while not streaming, just because I had these a couple of ideas and I just wanted to tinker with it and everything. I didn't think it was going to be especially interesting as a think stream, and also, as I say, I kept tinkering with it first thing in the morning, and no one wants to see me on a stream first thing in the morning, so yeah, I didn't get around to doing that. But what I mean is I am going to make a point of not finishing this off stream, because this is actually a nice little feature, and I think it shows off some of the things you can do to build terminal applications, proper full-featured terminal applications in Python code, with the aid of textual, and it makes it nice and straightforward and easy to do, and I think this shows it off fairly well. So I want to get a full record of this particular feature being developed from scratch to actually being released as something that is recorded and streamed. I think that's a nice way of doing things. So what time is it? Nearly 5:20. As I say, let's have a look how far into my steps today am I. Been out for a 5k run, 6,752 steps so far, so I need to go out and do another just over 3,000 steps, just to hit my 10k for the day that I like to try and do. So I'm going to go and take myself for a wee walk in, probably up into Roslyn Glen. Probably not 5k walk, I don't know. I'll see how far I go, see how... I normally put some YouTube channel on, talky YouTube channel, and just listen to it. So if I get deep into whatever they're going on about, then I'll probably just keep walking and then realise that I'm a long way from home and I need to come back, and it'll end up being 5k. Or I'll just go for a couple of k, I don't know. But I think it's time to finish. Also, I think my iron brew's almost done. So that's definitely a time for moving on. So, I don't think there's anyone out there at this moment. I can see that quite a few people have dropped in on and off. So if on the off chance YouTube Studio is fibbing to me and there is one out there watching, thank you for watching. And for anyone who happens to for anyone who happens to watch this recording at some point in the future, thanks for watching as well, and goodbye.